So this system is very, very important to be able to push plants at a commercial scale. 35 on site right now, so we have 35 different life forms to understand how they develop and what they like. Because in the long run, the consumers, they buy what they like, right? We can't tell them what they're going to like.
Anthony, thank you for inviting us in and having us here. I'm Mikhail Segal, president of TSRgrow. I'm here, obviously, with Anthony, director of cultivation. Thanks for having us.
Well, Mikhail, it's great having you here today. Thank you so much for joining us, and we've been very, very happy with the TSR lighting. Hamilton Farms is, we're small, we're local. It was a lot to get to the finish line, and it's been exciting to see what the investments that we put in. Super excited to show you where we're going today.
Most lighting systems have drivers on them. With our remote-powered advanced LED lighting, we've taken all of the power off the fixtures and centralized it, basically rack-mounted power. And we run DC, microgrids and run the power to the lights, giving more control, more monitoring, and more capabilities in your hands. But tell us a little bit about your experience and how the lighting solution has worked for you.
It's been super cool, honestly. The biggest battle of lighting has always been the heat output, right? Not being able to get your plants a certain distance from the light without being in that heat zone that's damaging. So
if that's where we want our biomass, I don't want anything that's down here. Keep it off my plants.
The fact that all of the heat source, or the majority of heat source, is in that server room away from the actual plants themselves has given us amazing control over environmentals, where even if we had an issue with our AC and we have half power, we still are able to control temperature to our needs. We haven't had any issues with overheating a single day. So that's been really, really cool to see. Being able to have a full canopy spread, there's no dead light anywhere. The fuller we can keep our canopy, the more light output that we can receive, and it's been awesome to see all the responses that's coming. This is my first LED grow, actually, so I honestly was skeptical going into it. Old school double-endeds, ACs were kind of more my comfort zone, but going down this pathway, we've seen, I'd say, better growth. As much canopy penetration as I would expect from an LEC or even a double-ended. We're 3.5 feet deep and still seeing rock solid nuggets that are producing B and C buds. So we're happy with it.
So I think I had us pegged at day 36, I want to say, on Monday. So 38, 39. Dude, so we've gotten them this big before when they finished, not this early. This is the one that people pick up the pre-rolls non-stop for. It's a little bit of an older, sativa funky.
What have you seen as the biggest difference going from LEC or double-endeds to LED from your...
Light spectrum is big, right? Being able to have more of a wider full spectrum light, I feel like we're getting a more natural growth from the plant. We're not getting excess stretching that you can get from the high intensity lights. LECs were great, but they also were very hot, hard to keep cool. They had to be open. There was air cooling of them. I'd say just the efficiency overall of the growth, being able to fill a canopy and be within 12 inches of the light and have that spread all the way through has been my favorite part. Just seeing how much light we can actually utilize.
My name is Eric Gensheimer with Hamilton Farms. I've been growing for 17 years now in all sorts of different medium states with different lighting systems. Excited to have you guys on site to go over the LED lights.
Technology, everything's is certainly morphed a lot.
Oh yes.
What is the biggest change that you've seen that's made the biggest impact in growing, in your opinion? Lighting, nutrients, or combination, or other things?
So in the lighting aspect, I would say just the technology with the diodes to start, just the efficiency of them has gotten so much better over the years. I remember when they were hot, needed fans on top of them, literally circulating the heat away from them, and that's driver on board, right? That's not driverless. So with you guys providing us the option to have that heat out of the room, we're able to control the environmentals a whole lot better, and it's just overall better product coming out.
One of the things that we pride ourselves on is service, support. Part of being a remote-powered company, we are constantly monitoring and kind of overseeing the technology and the systems, making sure they're up and running. But what's been your experience in dealing with TSR as a company?
It's a great problem to have, but it's going to be another 80 pounds on the next one, higher than this one. So And then Christian just hides amongst the jungle, cutting the ever so needy plants apart.
Oh my God. Look at these.
Oh, there's a night charmer.
Holy shit. Can I hold this?
Yeah. I mean, this is what you get with the TSRgrow. What else do you need? What else do you need?
You gotta get that.
And Christian's gonna be us on Saturday.
We actually just had an issue recently where we had our mini split go down in our server room, which, as you know, can be troublesome. But we were instantly in contact with TSR. We've actually got an alert because what happened is it overheated. It automatically kicked our lights down to 20%. We got in contact with you guys. You guys were able to raise the threshold for us immediately to turn off our fire suppression if that were to cut on and it get too hot. It's great customer service. It was very quick, fast, and easy, and that's what we're looking for.
I know you're doing crop steering involved. Have you started to look at, crop steering and some of the features in Grow Hub, the software, and what that could augment in terms of, supporting your crop steering efforts?
With the TSR lights, we have full control over the recipe, and that will be, as Anthony was saying, next phase of what we're doing with the different strains. As I explained to you earlier, we actually had one go through the lights recently, so we're just gonna have to do some preventative care on our side, a little bit more topping. With the new program, it's really boosted the plants up, and with the recipe setting, you should be able to dial that in throughout the crop steering program to provide more light at certain times when we're looking for that extra push and nutrient uptake. So just creating those recipes for our different strains is going to be the next step moving forward.
One of the things that we can do with our system is obviously communicate with other protocols, but it would be very interesting to look at ways where we can interact with your crop steering program and sensors that could also tie in and potentially bring a whole holistic crop steering system together between recipes, not only for the plants, but also with the intensity and the photons from the lights for the plants, so that you have a complete holistic.
And I think that'll be very beneficial because at certain points they don't want a full 100%.
Right.
And so even with the sunrise and sunset function that we have with TSR, we run a lower overall percentage of lights for the first 30 minutes just to help the plants kind of wake up and not just blast them right from the start. So it allows dual functionality on both sides of it for creating new recipes.
Would you recommend TSRgrow to other cultivators, and what would you tell them about TSRgrow?
I would definitely recommend them to other cultivators. First thing would be the ease of the maintenance. Little things that we have had to replace are literally fixed within 10 to 15 minutes with me and Anthony, or just a phone call away. It doesn't matter on your size. If you're 10,000 square feet all the way down to 1,000, I think TSR has many good options. I could see TSR working in containers. I could see it working in much larger spaces. Opportunities are endless.
I agree. And one of the other things that we achieve with our remote power system is typically we get much higher rebates on our lighting systems versus traditional lights that have a local ballast on them, not only for the modularity, but also the added controls and the verification that comes with our system, where we can program and demonstrate exactly how much energy is being used. So we typically will receive significantly higher rebates on our solutions. And I know in New Jersey and here with you guys, we were secured about 65% of a rebate on our lighting system, a complete system for Hamilton Farms. That'd be a big incentive also to go with a solution.
Yes, especially as we know, barriers to entry, cost is very expensive to get into the industry. So any place that we can mitigate that, it definitely helps out us as a cultivator and allows us to implement those resources elsewhere.
What are you most excited about for the future of Hamilton Farms at this point?
I was going to say expansion phase, but there are some genetics that are very intriguing to me coming up.
Ooh.
A lot of the older stuff, like some Panama Reds, some Trainwreck. But I mean, just growing as a company.
Yeah, I'm excited to see where this takes us. It's always been a dream of mine to be a part of legal commercial cannabis, and having the opportunity here, we don't waste it. We've been kicking ass for the better part of a year, and I'm pretty proud of how far we've come already. And with the team we're building, I think it's going to just keep getting better and better. As long as you actually care about the process and strive to improve, I think that there's a lot of repetition mindset in the industry that says, good enough is good enough, and we'll keep running that model. Being somebody who came to this industry almost 20 years ago because we cared about doing it in general, there's never a point where we stop learning and we can't get better. And we take every cycle as a learning lesson, no matter how good that cycle is, whether we're hitting maximum yield or maximum terp content, it doesn't matter. We're gonna figure out how to get better every single time, forever. I don't think New Jersey had seen some of the classics out. There hadn't been much of it coming out from the MSO markets, so putting out like the lamb's bread was a huge response. I personally really enjoy it. I haven't had a sativa that I've enjoyed in many, many years. It's something that kind of blew me away. It seems like people want more of it.
But like we've got some people for Night Charmer, they're religious with it. Like they'll go get pre-rolls every single day of the one specific strain. That's the one that they like. So hearing that from a customer is kind of cool too. That is their medicine for the week. It's only that strain, no others.
Ain't I clean, bad